Very good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Appasaab L V from Central Tribal University of Andrapradesh, Department of Business Management. Very good morning to one and all. Today, we will have to discuss consumer behavior, a subject. It is one of the most important subject in commerce and management. It is in the block 2 and a unit 5. Consumer behavior, what exactly or consumer behavior means? Consumer behavior andre ಏನು? Consumer behavior is a multifaceted field that examines how individuals or group makes decisions regarding the acquisitions, use and disposal of goods and services. That discipline has evolved significantly since its emergence in the mid of 20th century, integrating insights from various fields such as psychology, sociology, anthropology and the economics. So, after understanding the definition of a consumer behavior, we will go with the what are the factors which are going to be influencing on a consumer. There are a lot of factors which are going to be influencing on consumer behaviors. In that, we have to go on cultural factors, social factors, personal factors, psychological factors. We have to discuss one by one. What are the cultural factors which are going to be influencing on a consumer? First one is, in the cultural factors, the culture is going to be influencing a lot. What is that cultural factors? That is set of values, perceptions, preference and behaviors adopted by members of a societies. A second one we are going to be called it as a subculture. What is a subculture? A subculture is nothing but group of people with shared value systems based on common life experience and situations. For example, nationality, religion, ethnic group, geographic region. These are all the various factors which are going to be influencing. Next important factors we are going to be call it as a social class in the cultural factors, that is societal divisions based on a factors such as income, education, occupations, I mean to say that what exactly we are doing, and wealth. People within the same social class tend to exhibit similar buying behavior patterns. The second factors which are going to be influencing on a consumer behavior is, one is reference groups. The reference groups which are will going to be, for example, will going to be called as a family, again it is going to be called it as a reference groups, friends, next one is social networks. These are all the main important example. I am quoting, one is a family, second one is a friends, third one is a social networks which are going to be influencing under the reference groups. Second, in the social factors, sub a point is a family. It means to say that the most important consumer buying organization in a society, family roles and preferences can greatly influencing purchasing decisions of a person. Third factors we are going to be call it as a roles and a status. Mean to say that a person position within the groups or within the societies or within the society which is going to be influencing again consumer behavior or purchasing patterns of customers. A next third important aspect which is going to be there, call it as a personal factors. What exactly are personal factors? When we look into the subheading, we will come to know that what are the personal factors which are going to be influencing while buying the product or consumer behavior. Number one is age and life cycle stage. What exactly this will discuss with the example. We call it as a, when a person, when he is a single, again purchasing pattern is different, consumer behavior is different. When a person move to the second stage, we call it as a married, again when with the children's affect, again it is buying behavior patterns will going to be changes. Second one is we are going to be called as a occupations, mean to say that a person's jobs and professions influence the goods and services they buy. Third one is economic situations. It is very important, may call it as economic situations. A person economic status, it is going to be influencing a buying behavior patterns of a customers. May call it as the incomes, how much income is inflowing, the savings of individuals, and buying power. These are all depending upon the will going to be called the incomes and the savings. Third one is again we have to discuss is a lifestyle of a human beings. What kind of a lifestyle we are going to be living. So a person's pattern of living in a societies, again it is going to be influencing, may call it as a consumer behavior. Purchasing pattern, again it is going to be influencing a lifestyle. The last one is in the personal factors will going to be called as a personality and a self concept. What exactly this unique psychological characteristics of a human beings will going to be influencing on a consumer to buy a various product. So this is will going to be called it as a personality and self concept. The fourth important aspect, may call it as psychological factors. Number one is a motivation. In the motivations, Maslow's need hierarchy theory defines explains different level of motivations. There are 5 levels of motivations. One is basic to may call it as a last level, the self actualizations. Maslow's need hierarchy theory defines motivations of a human beings while buying the purchasing a particular the product. Second one is perception about particular product, particular product will going to be make by a product, mean to say that what kind of a perceptions I am going to be having about a product. That is very important. Next one is learning. Changes in individual behavior arising from experience, mean to say that when we are going to be learning something about a product, knowing about the product, then again the consumer behavior is going to be get changes. The next one is what kind of beliefs and attitudes we are going to be having a particular product, kind of a perceptions, beliefs and attitudes, what kind of beliefs and attitudes we are going to be having about the product. The next one is we are going to be call it as these things, understanding these factors can helps a business or a marketers develop strategies to buy a particular to make a marketing of a various kind of a product in a market. So this is we are going to be call it as a different factors which are going to be influencing a customers while buying the product. Okay students, next we are going to be there are different kinds of models are there. So number one, the traditional models of a consumer behavior we are going to be call it as a EKB model. So this is will going to be outlines the cognitive process involved in making a purchasing decisions. The EKB model it's developed in the 1968, then it is reinvented or redeveloped in the year of 1990s. It explains how consumer negative their decision making in the journey. So this is very important model. We are going to be discussed in a detail. What are the key components of a EKB model? This is key components we are going to be called as the information input stage. What exactly this? Here both marketing and non-marketing sources which influences their recognition of a individual consumer's need. Second one is information processing. What is that? Through exposure, attention, perception, acceptance and the retention will going to be tell in the information stage. The next, the third stage is decision process stage. What is the decision process stage? When we want to buy a product, when we want to purchase a particular services. So this decision process stage will go, may call it as a first is we are going to be call it as a problem recognition, why we are going to be buying the particular product. Second one is we are going to be searching about the information search, may call it as a information search about a particular product. Evaluation of alternatives, mean to say that the similar kind of a product which is going to be available in a market or not, we are going to be evaluate. Then we are going to be make a purchase decision and post purchase evaluation. What is the post purchase evaluations? After buying the product, after purchasing the services, then we are going to be make a evaluate how much it is going to be satisfied, it is worth or not. We are going to be giving a kind of a different ratings. The next one is we are going to be call it as a variable influence the decision process. Here such as motivation, personality, knowledge, including will culture, social, class and family, which is going to be influencing on this EKB model. Second very important model, today we are going to be discussing Harvard-Smith model, mean to say that this is the person who developed a particular model about the consumer buying behavior pattern or consumer behavior. Here in the 1960 he developed, it tells about the model integrates various psychological, social and marketing factors to illustrate how consumers makes purchasing a decision while buying the product. So here in this model, the first aspect we are going to be call it as a input variables. What is input variables? We are going to be called as a significant stimuli, symbolic stimuli, social stimuli. There are different stimuli which are going to be influencing on customers to buy a product. Second, in this model we are going to be call it as a perpetual and a learning construct. Here these constructs explains how consumer process informations and learn from their experience. Third one is output variables. Here these variables that results of the consumer decision making process. Fourth one is exogenous variables. Okay, this is the things. The next one is we are going to be called as the third important model in the consumer behavior is Bettman information processing model. This model emphasizing the cognitive aspects of decision making, focusing on how consumers use informations to form preference and make the various kind of choices. Here this model will tells information acquisitions through the descriptions, sources, kind of attention, and second thing is point is we are going to be call it as a perpetual encoding. How it is going? Again descriptions, selective perception, cognitive filters. Third decision process we are going to be go with the descriptions, evaluation of alternatives, then decision roles will like this it will go. The fourth important point in this model is going to be called it as a learning and a memory. Again each and every consumer is going to be having a short memory with the product or services. Again descriptions, consumer store informations and experience in their memory which influences future decision making with the short term memory, long term memory, again through the learning process. The last is feedback loop. See, if we satisfied, we are going to be give a good amount of a feedback. If we are not satisfied, we are not going to be give a good amount of a feedback. Again it is descriptions, post purchase evaluations and various kinds of a feedback mechanism. This information model valuable tool of understanding the cognitive process underlying consumer decision making.